We will call the regular meeting of the Cannon Township to order for July 28th. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Todd.
I'm going to say a brief prayer, so if you'd like to join me, please bow your head with me. Our Lord and our God, we pause today to give thanks. Lord, we are so grateful for all the blessings you shower down upon us each and every day. Lord, we thank you for this township that we live in. Lord, we thank you for those in this township that give of their time and their talents to do great work in this township, whether it be volunteer on a community or on a committee, or helping to clean up a trail, or working in our office. Lord, we pray that you guide our words and our actions, and we pray that we approach each situation and each person with humility, understanding, and grace. Lord, lastly, we pray for protection for our first responders. Lord, we pray that you watch over our firefighters, our EMTs, and our law enforcement. Pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Nancy?
Jim?
Here.
Cy? Here. Henry?
Here.
Jessica?
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Todd?
Sorry, here.
David?
Here.
All present.
All right. We have two amendments to the agenda before we approve it. We're going to add a J4, which is a request for payment for the Pinehurst lift station, right? Is that what it was?
Correct.
And then K1, Planning Commission appointment. I will handle that. Also, we're going to put in what is that? We'll do right after public comment. We'll do J.5. Will be Kitson parking update.
Motion to approve the agenda with those friendly amendments.
Is there support? All right. It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay. Approval of minutes for July 14th, 2025.
So moved.
I have
Support.
a couple amendments.
Go ahead.
So
What do you want?
Under my comments, it said a bike riding in the park. That's actually a gravel bike ride that is not in the park. I thought I better spell that out because there are those that be upset for riding bikes in Townsend Park. And then also the Blandford Nature Center, it said with educational materials, I'd like to strike that and put that they are doing nature-based education programs.
Okay. With those changes, are you okay with that?
Yep.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, good. Approval of bills General Fund 19356 through 374 and EFT 866 and 867.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any comment on the treasurer's report? David?
The funds are in great shape.
Good. All right. Good answer. It's like a broken record. All right. Public comment. Who has something they want to say? Now's a good time. Anybody? Anybody at all? Nobody? Okay. All right. Well, we will go to Kitson parking update. There have been some issues with the implementation of things there. I know a couple people have used the Air Park app, and I know that at least twice they were about 10 minutes late, and for being 10 minutes late, there was a charge of like $59 or something. So, yeah. So don't be late. It's easy through the phone, but we're working on trying to rectify that. The other thing that we're going to do as part of that ordinance was that I didn't get a chance to tell you guys this, but part of the ordinance was to deputize. We were considering fire guys, right? Well, the fire guys really didn't like that idea, and the chief, because they have they don't want to be, and it makes sense to me that they want to put out fires and save people. They don't want to be issuing tickets. It kind of changes how the public views them. So I think what we're going to look at, which I'll bring back, is which we could use anyway, is a zoning or not a zoning, an ordinance enforcement officer. We used to have that. Remember when Bob Devereaux did that? I think Bob Devereaux did that for a while. Anyway, and so we will just pay someone to do that, and then part of their ordinance enforcement would be to issue the tickets if we see them parking on Belding Road or Kitson or wherever they're not supposed to be. Doug Van Essen is checking on the willingness of MDOT to let us ticket. They wouldn't talk to us about that before, but you know, I'm sure there won't be anybody from Cannon that'll be ticketed because most people in Cannon get what's going on there, and I think it's a lot of people from outside Cannon. So if they get a ticket, so be it. All right. So
One update on that Kitson parking also. The ordinance was published in the Squire on July 9th. And so it takes effect August 9th. So that's the official effective date of the ordinance is the first week in August.
have people seen people utilizing the air park things? Anybody? Have you? Has it helped? Is it? So it's kind of working? Good. Is it? Good. All right. Good to know. All right. J1, Balk Family Park update. There's not a lot going on there, and it's really mostly the county. Because it is.
It's all the county.
Okay, it's all the county. So they had these great plans, and we chipped in our share. And I think the county has not. The county has not lived up to their end of the bargain. I think it's fair to say. And in fact, the MDOT was contacted. I think this is true. MDOT was contacted to say, you know, the turn lane, can we shorten it, or the decel lane and whatever. And they said, we don't know anything about that. So the county hasn't even gotten to them yet. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Balk? Yeah, you might as well wait because you're going to be done talking by the time you get up here.
That reminds me of that Liberty Mutual Insurance, the limo driver, if you've seen that. But anyway, what you say is true, Steve, and I think the biggest disappointment in this whole thing is that we have been misled for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
I won't use the word lied to, but
It's okay.
excellent
Kind of
to
we
it.
have, so yeah.
And myself, making a call to MDOT, hopefully now got the ball rolling. When I talked to one of the engineers at MDOT, and he didn't have any idea what I was talking about. He said, "Go down the hall." He says, "Do some checking. I'll call you back in 20 minutes." And I think he called back in 18 minutes. And he said, all the people in the engineering department, all they have is a conceptual drawing.
That's all they ever got from the county.
And that conceptual drawing was produced 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, just a lot of disappointment. And maybe on the strength of that phone call, maybe something is now happening.
Well, we've also gotten a lot of help from the state.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
our state rep, but that's okay.
I have obviously a vested interest, and I'm going to stay on it and keep
Yes.
it right here in front of me.
Yep. The other thing is that we are trying to set up a meeting with the county parks people so Mr. Balk can tell them in person what he just said here. They don't want to do that. I don't think they know what's coming, but we're still trying. My office is trying to work to set that up. Have you been watching those emails?
Yeah. In fact, the last thing I heard was August 20.
Yeah, it's not because one of them can't make it, and then the other one never responded. So, but we're going to get them in. So that's the update.
And you mentioned something too about the township involvement, and Visser Brothers have. This is old news. They've agreed to build a building at their cost in the park to use as a a venue, take the baby showers and the graduation parties out of this room, and get them in a nice venue. As I said, Besser Brothers have agreed to build that
Right.
cost, and at some point, obviously, I or someone will be back to this board and see what share of it and what input you want.
What did we contribute? What was the commitment? Like 200?
So we did 200,000 to the park.
We didn't. Did we say where that was going?
We
Or
didn't put strings on it. No.
we didn't put? Okay, so
So they were hoping to raise far more. When the executive director of Kent County Parks went to get funded for the park, the most that they would Kent County agreed to give them was 300,000. So right now they have 500,000, which would probably put the drive-in and a parking lot, and that's about it.
Yeah,
So it's not
even that's probably going to be a little short.
right.
But if you people would, as a body, keep this thing in mind, and as I said, I or someone will be back at you with something more definitive. What?
you mean like to ask us for more money?
Sorry.
To ask for more money?
Well,
That's okay. I mean,
that's absolutely true.
that's right. That's what I thought. That's where I thought you were going with it.
So
No, that's fine because we said that we were going to keep that open. You know, the possibility of contributing more because it really is going to benefit the township tremendously.
Oh, no question.
Yeah, and you want it to be done right, and so do we. If we're going to be, sending residents over there, so yeah, I mean that certainly is something we have contemplated and we will strongly consider. I don't think and we've got the money, right? So, Cy, did you want to talk about or did you want to talk about that later? Just a potential later. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to say?
Just one other comment. Of course, we pour over the Township magazine when it comes, and if maybe in some of your comments, writing those articles, that something could be said to promote the park also.
Oh, we will be doing that when.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to do that in my section under the Park and Rec section. I'll be glad to
Be
do that.
great.
Yep.
Just play it up a little and
Yeah, we don't know what to play up quite yet, though. Because
We did.
play up
And
the
we
fact
did
we're
like
going to get a park. It's going to happen.
Oh, it is going to happen. It already is there. It's just that we've got to make sure it's built.
we actually said quite a bit about it. I think 2 issues before, and in fact, I'm sorry, but we had a picture of the Balk Family Park map, and then it got cut in the end. So sorry. So I almost made it in this issue, but we'll get it in the next one for sure.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Put it on the
Appreciate
website.
Appreciate
Too.
it. Thank you.
Yep. You
Do
bet.
a blurb on the web. We'll do a blurb on the website.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We have. Okay. So Jessica commented last time about the $1,200 and the $400, and this I was wrong. This is what I found out. I talked to our engineer and I talked to the general contractor, and what happened was that project was going all along, and consumers it was all good, and on a certain day toward the end of the project, the general contractor had gotten the electricians out there, and they were all out there at 8. Consumers showed up about 10 and said, we changed our mind on this, so we're going to do a whole new boring, and we don't need you today. So they started the whole thing over. So we had to pay that $1,200 because the electricians were committed to that job. Apparently they didn't have anything else to do. And it was basically the same thing. We had to pay them $400 to go out and do it again. So I got a hold of our engineer, and they wrote a long thing that's in the packet, and they basically said it probably would not be worth it to get a lawyer to pursue them, and there may or may not, this was my feeling, there may or may not be a cause of action. But what I put in the email was I'd be willing to do it pro bono. If the township wants me to look into it, I won't charge anything. And so that will keep down the attorney fees. So just let me know if that's something you want me to do, and I'll look into it. And at a minimum, I'll call consumers. I think the engineer is right. It's never been done. This has never been done, trying to recoup these things. But I don't know the extent to which anybody's tried. But I'm certainly willing to look into it.
Do you need a motion for that?
I don't think we need a motion. Well, if you want to make one, sure.
I would make a motion. We direct our supervisor to contact Consumers Energy and try to get back our $1,600.
I would second that, and I would. Could I make a friendly amendment? Let's see what else Steve will do for free for the township.
And can we also put in the minutes that Steve admitted to being wrong on something?
I think that's a.
It doesn't happen often,
Yes.
but I'm going to take it.
Are we all done? This fun?
Yes, I will make a. I will second that. No, no friendly.
With that, no, I will absolutely. Well, anything I can do for the township.
I appreciate that. You're a good guy.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I will get started on that. Okay. Bell, let's do this. Let's do J4 first. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this one. Jim, you had this request for payment. That's short, right?
Yeah, with that change order in there, the engineer contacted me today asking what happened to payment number 4, which we received the letter on June 5th that we never received. So we never scheduled the payment for payment number 4. So I make a motion, we approve payment number 4 to Pinehurst Lift Station for $37,605.50.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
I.
Okay, good. Bella Woods. All right. So I'll just give a brief background here on this. This was, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but this originally came to the Planning Commission for an amendment to the ordinance, right? Ed? Conditional rezoning. And they said no. And so Eastbrook brought it to us, and we had at least 2 meetings on this, at least 2, right? And then we've also had, meetings with Eastbrook to go over our concerns on things that we got from listening to you. And I will say, Todd, I think this is fair to say, Eastbrook has dealt in very good faith, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll give you a couple of examples. When we had a room with this many people in it, the room was about half divided, I think, not exactly, I didn't count, but about half the people said they want sewer on the whole property to protect Silver Lake, because that's where the water goes. And that, at the time, we were thinking was probably not financially doable, that we'd at least get it on half of the property. And then the other half of the room kind of said, because Mick McGross at that meeting said, well, we could do sewer on the whole thing, but it's going to be very, very expensive. And to pay for that, I'd need a lot more lots. And so, long story short on that one is they really worked very hard, and we're going to get sewer on the entire property, I think, for how many lots? 68 lots, which is what, 10 more than they could get just without the township involvement at all.
Previously it was 62, so it's 6 more lots.
Well, they were asking for 62 before we did the sewer. But the original, if they just divided it, they could get what, 57? Wasn't it 57?
Yep.
57 was a parallel plan.
Yep.
So then for 5 more lots, we were going to get sewer on half of it. And now we've got 6 more lots, so 11 extra lots, and we get sewer on the entire property, no threat at all to Silver Lake, right? No septic, no nothing, no nothing.
And I think it's important to mention too, just for anybody that doesn't understand the context, that if you did do the meets and bounds split and put it into 2-acre lots, the 57, all those lots, and you could do that right now with no approvals from the township, and you could put 57 homes in, all with well and their own septic systems.
Right.
So,
But there's more.
yeah, keep going.
So I contacted who did I contact? Oh, I contacted Jeff Twyman, chairman of the Planning Commission, and I said, "What is your real concern there?" And his real concern was that there was no open space development, and we do have some of those. A lot of times they don't seem to work because nobody wants to take care of the open spaces, and then you've experienced that, right? So then I said, well, this doesn't necessarily. We can't really force the developer here to do this because they don't want to do a PUD, so our hands are kind of tied. But he said, well, if we could just get some kind of commitment to community, to bringing people together. So Todd said, well, why don't we just take the trail through that property, right? And they agreed to do that through the property, right? Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to get up here in a second. I'm just a long-winded history here. So then they're going to put this, and they're going to have big green dedicated green buffers, no disturb, more aggressive than before. They're taking the lots off to the south of Belding Road more, right? So it is a very good resolution, I think. Now, here's some things though that we can't control. We can't control MDOT. And the other thing they did was that they came in, which they didn't have to do, with a traffic study. Was that Progressive that did that? Yeah, they do most of them. And they said that will not have enough of an impact to, you'll tell me how they said it. But anyway, it passed and they said, no, this will not have an effect on the road. Now, here's an example though. And Jessica left us this, John, can we read this? Does he care? Okay, good. So John Chickering wrote an email. Is John here? No. Okay. So he wrote an email. I'll just read it. Jessica, your enthusiasm is contagious. Yeah. Apparently he doesn't know Jessica very well, but it says, but without meaningful improvement to Belding Road, this we agree with, the added traffic of another 68 homes will create more congestion, delays, and danger for those of us already there. Now, we do have a traffic study that empirically does not support that. Well, I'll read. I'm not going to read that part. As it is now, Belding Road has become so crazy busy with all the added development that we often have to wait many minutes to get out of our Majestic Way Drive, and then at our peril as the cars and trucks come screaming up so fast on us. I hope you and the other board members have the courage and good sense to insist that Belding Road be widened to add more lanes and its speed limit reduced to 45 between Northland Drive and Myers Lake Road prior to allowing any new subdivision adding 68 homes. A couple of points on that. Number one is the Township Board absolutely has the courage and the sense to insist that, but MDOT won't listen, and it's MDOT's road, and how often have we gone to them? We tried to, first of all, the focus is this focus is the focus really for this project, Northland Drive and 2 Myers Lake Road. That's really doesn't affect this because this is to the east, right? East of that.
Correct.
What we've tried to do, Jim and I both, is try to get a traffic light at Ramsdell. And they said no. We tried to get the cut down more down by Ramsdell. They said no. We wanted it reduced. In fact, it used to be 50, and people came in and they said we want it reduced to 45. And we said it's the state road, and they have a formula, and it's called the 85th percentile. And they said, well, we want a traffic study, and we said, do you remember that?
Yep.
And we said, don't ask the state for a traffic study because it's going to be higher. And they said no. And so it went from 50 to 55 because we told them don't do that to MDOT. 50, it's going to go higher if they look at this. Ed will tell you how well I get along with MDOT, right, Ed? I don't. And I can't stand those people. And so, not that that's detrimental. It's just that they just have their own thing and they don't listen. So but what we're going to do is, I think this is between the Balk Family Park and this development, because the Balk Family Park the drive is going to line up with Sunfish. So what we're going to try to do is when we get the county to get more engaged in Balk Family Park, we're going to try to get a light. We've already requested this, a light at Sunfish and a light at Ramsdale. Then you have the light here. So we hope they'll listen to us for a change, but they probably won't. So Mr. Chickering should know that we agree with all of that. So the bottom line on this thing is that I think, at least in my opinion, Todd, you can weigh in before we hear from McGraw, that they have dealt in tremendous good faith, right?
I think so. I mean, I will tell you that from the get-go, I was not a fan of the development. I also was not a fan of doing the meets and bounds for obvious reasons. I think Mick and your team, you've done a nice job of hearing the public. We had what was that, a 2-hour meeting, a lot of discussion, and it came down to 3 major points: traffic, sewer, and then a bike trail and recreational opportunity. So you agreed to put a bike trail through the property. 25 years ago, when Jack Goodall still owned the property, we wanted to put the original trail through that property. So we have an easement, if you're familiar with the trail that's down near the boardwalk on the Sunfish wetlands area. So we have an easement that goes there all the way to this property already in place. So it's just a matter of extending that and then going through the property. So
which will be a nice loop of the trail there.
It will be. It'll be excellent.
So
then Mick stepped forward and, we kind of asked you to look into it, and you had engineering look at it to see if you can put sewer on all of the property. Originally, you wanted to do the ones towards the front on Belding and not the ones in the back. So we appreciate you taking the time to do the engineering and the heavy lifting to get it done on all of the properties, because that's really the right answer. And you said it yourself. I think the first meeting you said the best case scenario is to have them all on sewer. So we appreciate that. In terms of the traffic concern, like Steve is kind of saying, that's really not our call. That's the DOT, right? So, and the DOT, correct me if I'm wrong, they could say this development cannot happen because of the traffic.
they absolutely could do that.
So we can rezone it and vote on it, and then they can shut it down. So
Well, there's other things. I mean, it's going to go back to the planning commission, right, Ed, for final site plan approval. And there's also things that it will be, any approval of the site plan would be what, Ed, conditioned upon MDOT approval, engineering. Yeah. So there's still hoops to jump through. This is just allowing it to move forward to the planning commission, right? So we're not approving the development. We are just saying
we're rezoning it.
we're rezoning it for this purpose.
Yeah. One thing I'll mention to you, I spent a lot of time poring over that traffic study. They did an excellent job. And I think I told you in one of those meetings, my genuine concern is most people in that development will be probably working in Grand Rapids, making left turns onto Belding. Not many people are going to be going to Belding or to Greenville to work, but there may be some. So in the morning, I was really concerned about all that traffic backing up and people taking risks and pulling out. The traffic study, by the way, showed that it add 27 seconds to turn out during peak periods, which is pretty nominal. I thought it'd be far more than that. So to the letter, the gentleman, and I live on Sunfish Avenue, and I come up and I try to make a left turn on Sunfish Avenue, and I will tell you 27 seconds to me sometimes feels like 5 minutes. So, but I think if I had my stopwatch running, it probably was closer to 30 seconds or so. I'm waiting, but so I appreciate what they did. So thank you.
All right.
One question I do have, if I can add one more thing.
Go ahead.
I was looking at your map and the trails. Is it? I know it's 8-foot path coming into the property. It's going to be 8-foot path all the way through the property as well. Correct? I just want to make sure that's the case. Okay. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
Come on up, Mick, or
Sure.
whoever. Mike.
The planning commission as well. I mean, we've spent a year now probably trying to wind our way to a good solution. And what we did hear back in February from a number of people in the room, send us back thinking. And we did get the sewer being the biggest issue. And as I did say that night, our preference is always to build with sewer if we can do that. Water too, if we can get it, but that wasn't as feasible. But to our surprise, the township's consulting engineers surprised a little bit too. We started digging and digging, going, well, what if we did this? What if we brought it in a little bit deeper off of Building Road? And what if we did a little filling through one of those ravines? Could we make it happen? And it worked. With a little bit of farther south we go, a little consternation there, but we're able to make it work, and we're very happy about that. With that, maybe I'll just turn it over to Michael, and he'll do probably just a quick preface, and I'll hit a couple other points.
You guys have touched on much of what I wanted to say, but yeah, we've been working on it since the fall of last year, and we've been through a handful of meetings, and at each of them we've gathered a great deal of feedback. I missed one of them. Mick was there, but all that's been valuable, and I think the resulting plan, as you alluded to, Steve, is probably the best version we could have come up with. Just some quick highlights, as you mentioned, 100% of the homes will be on sanitary sewer. There is about 26 acres of no disturb areas that have been added. That's the green. You can't see them really well, but they're green hashed out areas on each side lot line and every rear lot line. We've used this exact same tool in two other developments that are in Cortland Township, where their lot sizes are about 165 feet wide, so really similar to these. These average probably closer to 200 feet in width. So as we go through some of these sites, you'll see some of those examples. But the bike path on our portion that we're paying for is almost a mile of bike path. It's 0.86 miles to be exact. That's noted on the site plan. And even with 100% of the homes on sanitary sewer, we're still at only 0.52 units per acre. So, or acres per unit, sorry. So you're still at almost 2 acres per unit. So very close to what the underlying land use plan calls for. The traffic study was completed by a third-party engineer. There's really strict rules on how those are conducted for the benefit of those who don't understand how those go. The MDOT and the governing bodies tell them how they want them done. As you said, essentially, one of the quotes in the conclusion was the proposed development would incur an insignificant impact on the surrounding roadway network. Now, we do still have to go to MDOT, and Jeff's been working with them already on the geometry of what that intersection would look like, and we don't have any say over that. They get to dictate how that connection.
That's a good word. That's what they do. Yes,
exactly. They dictate exactly how they want us to build it, so we will do it to their design requirements. And as Ed alluded to, that's later in the process when we get into all the engineering. But no, we're excited about it. I don't know if you want to quick go through some of those slides. It'll just maybe give you a little...
Whatever you want to do.
Little snippet of what keep going. Those are just so here's if you go back to that one. The one on the top right is a rendering of the project off of 12 Mile north of Cortland. The one on the bottom left is Squires and Parmenter in Cortland Township. Those lots are exactly 165 feet wide. And as you keep going, it'll just show you some of the homes and how they sit. That's the entrance. We keep going here. Now you get a sense of what those tree protection areas look like. In most cases, the homeowners, if you just pause for a second, those requirements stand forever. So the HOA continues to enforce those long after we're gone. They cannot absolutely remove any healthy tree in those buffer zones. And in most cases, people choose to keep more than that. But that's what's essentially protected. So if you just flip through, you just these are some aerial shots we've taken with drones of this similar project. And that particular, so this one's a really good example. Both sides of the house flanked by trees in the back. So that's just gives you an idea what it's going to look like. We have a bunch of floor plans at the end. I don't think we necessarily need to get through all those. But this gives you a really good idea of what the relationship between the houses looks like.
So, I just added that. Again, thank you. The bike path, maybe it just warrants.
Yeah.
And also out to building. Don't forget we're doing this.
That's going to go to you guys.
Yep, we've been working with our engineer on that to try to figure out what the best way to do it is. Yep. Mhm. So, Mick, just for the benefit of the group, would you mind pointing at where the existing easement is for the folks that are watching right now? Down. Yep. Yep. Down there. Right.
Yeah.
And just a little context. So 25 years ago when we originally got that easement, it's when Somerset Meadows was developing. We wanted to go through that property, but at the time, Jack Goodall said, I don't want to put a bike trail through it because I don't know how it'll be developed in the future. So here we are 25 years later with finally completing that plan. So.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm a resident of the township as well, and I'm an avid cyclist and runner. And anytime you could add another loop option, I saw somebody wearing a marathon shirt back there. I'm sure she's probably ran every trail around here, but I thought it was beneficial and made really good sense. So just
It does.
north of that boardwalk, you can go continue north or you can go west. It just gives another option to get to the township park as well.
It's not always the case that we get a development that really there's a trade-off. There's you can get some density, some issues with that, but we protect Silver Lake, we get the trail, we get the preservation of the green spaces. And particularly the trail, well, the sewer, number one, and the traffic, but outside of that, the aesthetics and what it does for the township, that people can use this trail and do the circuit. And it's because some people want to do that smaller. I go 5 miles myself. I can walk 5 miles, but that's about it. But
Good job.
well, thank you. Not every day, but anyway, so it's to me they acted in tremendous good faith. So, Jessica, do you have anything from the Planning Commission on this, or any comments at all since you were on the Planning Commission?
Yes, I emailed our team members to see if they had any input, and I'd like to read a couple of them if that's okay. Jeff Twyman said, I'm much happier they've aligned with the township's desire to make the development with some walkability. Allowing for the trail is a major concern. I don't agree with adding more lots, but it's not the end of the world. I do still stand firm that this development should not be approved unless the developers upgrade the sewer main from Myers Lake to Belding Road up to the development. That's still his main concern.
That's in our plan for the sewer anyway, isn't it?
To do the full main.
Yeah, that's already in our budget, so that's going to get done.
Well, then that's perfect. Then I think all items have been checked. Another person just asked me to summarize. Love that everything's able to go on the public sewer. Wish it could just stay an average of 2 acres, but at the end of the day, really appreciate the developers listening to our feedback, taking community feedback, and they were very appreciative of that. Yep, those are it from the Planning Commission. So,
All right. Any comments here?
I've got one.
Go ahead.
So, Michael, I don't know. One of the things we have a problem with in this township, and Steve and I have talked about that a little bit, is when you have an HOA governing these no-touch zones, they sometimes don't get enforced. So sometimes neighbors over time start trimming their yards bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so what we would ask is that in your write-up, put some teeth into it, if you would, please. Any mature trees. I've read in some HOAs where they'll put a $10,000 fine. And then Steve and I have talked about possibly making the township able to enforce those rules instead of the HOA being the governing body.
Ed, if it's part of the final site plan, that is is that a? Yeah.
It will be a master deed, and we can submit. We've done that with other places too. We submit. In fact, the one in Cortland Township that I think Micah Myers was the attorney on that one as well. We had the similar type of language there. The one
You
we
just
showed you
incorporate
pictures
that into a resolution.
we will put it. We will put it in the master deed. And typically, we'll send it off to the town if we're requested. Send it off to the township attorney for him to pass judgment on the language within the master deed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
happy to do that.
Please do.
Right, Ed? Right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good? Any other comments?
I just have a question. I know, like you said, MDEP doesn't listen
No,
very
they
well
don't.
to us yet, but would it be fair to say this development, even though it's just a slight increase in traffic, it might open their ears a little bit more for our concerns for M44?
I don't know because I don't know what makes them tick.
Okay.
That's this flat spot on my head is my head beating against the wall with MDOT.
Okay.
I wouldn't hold my breath. They could get somebody in there with some intelligence, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for
They
that.
told you the same thing before, did they not tell you? One of their warrants, although they will deny this, is they have warrants that they have to meet before they make changes, right?
Right.
That's what they're called, as warrants. And one of them at one point said to me, well, we don't have enough fatalities there.
Yeah, none of people have
That-
died.
That's what they've told you.
Yeah.
And
Multiple
That's true, Steve. That was the time when now everybody that was so mad at me was gone. So I could actually go down there again. I wasn't allowed to go down.
I got so mad at them, didn't I, Ed? I got very, very angry with them.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're ready if someone wants to make a motion one way or the other on this to, what are we actually doing? We are
Rezone.
conditional rezone to either deny, the motion will be to deny or approve the conditional rezoning request by Bella Woods.
I make that motion
Which one?
to approve.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It's been moved and supported, Nancy?
I did.
Henry?
Steve, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is this based on the previous memo, like the original from Jim Scales, like the conditionals ones that he gave out? I think it was
Yeah, well,
in
there's
June.
actually more detail, and they made more concessions contained here that we talked
in
about.
this.
Yeah.
In this one.
That there's a few more lots, but we get sewer throughout the entire thing. We have the trail throughout the thing, and a more dedicated land for green space, no disturb. Yeah, tonight. Yeah, let's do that if you want.
I'll take that.
All right. You ready? You okay, Cy?
Yeah. Thank you.
Nancy?
Jim,
Yes.
Cy,
Yes.
Henry,
Yeah.
Jessica,
No.
Steve,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you'll follow up next with the Planning Commission. And Ed, if there's any issues, you'll let us know. But for now, we're out of it, I think. So, okay, good. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for working with us. Planning Commission appointments. Let's see, Ed. Who you interviewed? Some people, did you? All right. So this is Ed's memo. I'm going to read it as though it's my motion. I recommend the Township Board appoint Rita Proctor to the Township Planning Commission to fill the current vacancy. Rita has demonstrated a strong and sustained interest in the future of Cannon Township. I've heard that she's good on the ZBA, right? Regularly attending Planning Commission meetings on a voluntary basis. Her presence at these meetings reflects both her dedication to civic engagement, that's true, and her growing familiarity with the Commission's ongoing work, policies, and processes. Rita has recently served as a member of the ZBA. Her work on the ZBA has given her direct experience with zoning issues, land use regulations, and the practical application of township ordinances, skills that will directly translate to the Planning Commission's responsibilities. Rita's knowledge, passion for responsible growth, and ongoing involvement with the township matters make her an excellent candidate for this appointment. Signed, Rita Proctor. No, she didn't. You wrote that. This is very glowing. That's what I'm saying. So I'm happy to make that a motion that we appoint Rita Proctor to the Planning Commission.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Nancy?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, I don't know
Yeah.
why I said Nancy. I don't care. But you've already done it. Go ahead. I don't know why I said Nancy. Go ahead. Finish that.
Yes.
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 Good. All right. She's not here. She said she wouldn't be here. So, Jim, you want to get with her and swear her in?
Got that stuff right here.
Good. All righty then. All right. Bostwick Lake Drain Easement. Todd.
Yeah. So, Amy and I, forgive me if I'm butchering your last name, Lanier. Am I close? Are you here, Amy? Lanier. Thank you. So, Amy reached out to me a while back, and she wanted to express her concerns about an easement at Bostwick Lake.
Mhm.
And Jim Ellis has been involved. Henry Benton has been involved. Kent County Drain Commission has been involved, and I figured the best thing to do is let's go before the board and let's all talk about it publicly.
Good.
With that, I don't know, Henry, Jim, do you want to cue it up? Talk a little bit about what you've been working on?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm working with the Kent County Drain Commission and the two homeowners next door, and what I was told I was working for Amy is we came up with the best way to solve the problems. And we got a step put in that we're putting in a step at the bottom. It's approximately 9 inches higher than the water level, so it doesn't get slippery. And we're adding some riffraff because we have an erosion problem still yet. So that's a mixture of the two things. And that made everybody happy, and we quit talking about suing everybody, and everything got better. So we came up with that was our best solution. And so that's what we're proceeding with right now.
Okay.
We're waiting on the stone.
So is that all this is about? Is this just an update of where you guys are?
No, I think Amy is not satisfied with that. Is that correct?
You could come
wanna
on
make
up and
some
tell us what. Come on up. You can tell us what your issues are if you want. Is L.R. Cole here?
Yeah, Mr. Cole's
Oh.
here.
Oh, there you are. I didn't see you back there.
He was hiding.
Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Oh, he's fancy.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Do you mind? I can't hear you.
The issues are shared access point at this location. So in 1980s, there was a vacation proceeding to vacate the parkland between the lots and the water's edge. And at that vacation proceeding, it was adjudged that the the county road commissioners would obtain a 20-foot wide drainage easement and walkway easement. I wish I could kind of had a visual. And so and then what was removed from the vacation proceeding was permitting.
Why don't you? It's more important that they see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this area here was the park that was vacated, the red, and this green strip was the extension of the existing walkway to the water's edge. And so that area is dedicated to be the park, reserved, so that was left out of it. And so again, the 20-foot wide strip was conveyed to the road commission for walkway purposes and drainage. So that's for us to access the pipe and the outlet. So residents wanted to be able to access the water, and the road commission's responsibility is to manage the drainage. And so we're working with the township to accommodate both the walkway and the drainage. And so the drainage outlet now, we believe, is going to provide or perform just fine. We're going to put a stepping stone in, but that's we call it riprap. That's its main function, but it's going to have a dual function. It'll be flat, it'll be rough on top, so it can be utilized by the residents to access the water. Yeah, and we think the property owners adjacent to this walkway easement, they're using the land that's beautiful, it's landscaped, and so we just see no reason to open up the end of it for drainage, and walkway is managed by the township.
So this solution is a solution that the Kent County Road Commission, particularly you, have come up with in your capacity. This is what you do?
Well, collectively with Trustee Benton,
Property owners and Henry and I,
and people basically signing on. They're okay. People are okay with this, except we're probably going to hear from Amy. Yeah. What?
Yeah, there's a misunderstanding about. I'm not an attorney. About public trust and so forth, and what those mean at this location. And so we're just do the best we can to try to get everybody to coexist. And I said we have the drainage, the township has the walkway, or park and walkway, or just park access.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've satisfied everybody's needs. It's not great, but it's balanced.
Okay. And again, the road commission's okay with this.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Did you want to come up now? Thank you.
LR, did you get a date for the stone yet?
We sourced a stone today. I haven't looked at it yet, so hoping to set the elevation tomorrow or by the end of the week.
Good. Thank you, Eller.
thanks, Eller.
Can't wait till that's not.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Amy Lanier. For 21 years, I've lived at 6777 Kitson Drive in Rockford, directly across the street from the Bostwick Lake Public Access, located between 6780 and 6784 Kitson. This land was legally deeded to the public in 1916 by William and Ella Kitson. Since May 26, I've uncovered through extensive research the underlying cause of the growing tension between adjacent homeowners, neighbors, and Cannon Township is complete ambiguity and long-term neglect of this precious public gift. I'll take questions at the end. Timeline. May 26, on Memorial Day, I found the public lake access completely blocked. May 27th, the homeowner from 6780 Kitson apologized multiple times and promised to remove the debris, and he did. And he assured me the obstruction was unintentional. May 29th, I spoke briefly with a young man from the dock company hired by the homeowner at 6780 Kitson. When asked, the worker said they were moving his dock over, pointing toward the public access. June 5th, L.R. Cole, Kent County Road Commission, called and said he'd get back to me by June 13th with a plan to remove the remaining debris and improve entry to the water. He gave me verbal permission to clean up debris in the water and pile it on top of existing debris. June 9th, in response to one of my FOIA requests, Jim Ellis stated, Amy, the walkway areas around Bostwick Lake were deeded to the public trust in the 1920s to 1930s. That means the property is owned by the people of Michigan. It would not be legal to issue permits to impede access to these public lands. June 14th, I cleaned debris from the public access water and placed it by the drain as instructed. Homeowner at 6780 Kitson blocked the walkway access with golf cart for several hours. L.R. Cole indicated that the seawall at 6784 Kitson partially occupies public land and said he would ask the homeowners to add steps. what I'd like to say about this is the homeowner at 6784 did everything right. They got a permit, and I called Eagle. Eagle is the statewide agency that issues the permits, and they told me that they sent out information to Cannon Township and Kent County Road Commission to find out if there were any easements or land issues, and they did not get any response from those agencies. So then the 6784 Kitson family did everything right, and they built their seawall, as you can see. Okay. June 23rd, LR Cole emailed me this plat map and the 1982 court judgment showing a 10-foot sidewalk and a 2-foot or 20-foot easement. And see where the green square is? There's a 10-foot walkway from Kitson, and it goes down to where the green square goes. There's a 10-foot walkway, but there's a 5-foot cement walkway. So legally we have 10 feet, but there's a 5-foot cement walkway. The 5-foot cement walkway goes all the way down to the water's edge. And from that green square, to me, it says 20 by 20 easement. And if you'll see, oh, you can't see, can we raise that? The information that's highlighted in yellow, there we go. On the left-hand part of this diagram, this says the drives, walks, and parks as shown on said plat are hereby dedicated to the use of the public. Signed by William and Ella Kitson. On the right side of the diagram, the highlighted yellow says the 1982 court order shows a 20-foot drainage and walkway easement. Wednesday, June 25th, Kent County Road Commission picked up most of the debris. Approximately 18 inches of access to the lake was opened. The cement walkway is only about 5 feet wide, and the public is legally deeded 20 feet. So if you take that cement walkway down the center, the public should have 10 feet to the right and 10 feet to the left. Tuesday, July 15th, Jerry Byrne, Kent County Road Commission, sent me a copy of the 1982 court judgment, which legally supports the 20-foot public easement. July 21st, I emailed Ed Lockhart to have private structures removed from the public walkway easement. I emailed Todd Olson to ask the Cannon Township officially mark the outline of this public easement, as the public has a right to know where the boundaries are. I obtained the Bostwick Lake plat map from the Register of Deeds. July 23rd, unannounced visit from Henry Benton. I have a ring video of the conversation. He gave me some 9 points, and if I agreed with those 9 points, I would be able to bring my dog floating with me, because the rules of the Bostwick Lake Park is no animals. So the 9 statements. First statement, Cannon Township will not require removal of private obstructions. Number 2, Kent County Road Commission plans to install a sandstone step at the shoreline, which is I'm happy with. While this 20-foot shoreline easement is acknowledged, Cannon Township refuses to recognize the full 20-foot inland easement. Number 4, an adjacent neighbor's surveillance camera near the access will be removed. Number 5, township officials have acknowledged verbal agreements with neighbors adjacent to the easement, allowing private structures to remain on public access land. Number 6, told me the township does not plan to add signage, only a QR code which confirms this is part of Bostwick Lake Park, which links to the rules. No animals. Most swimmers don't bring phones with them. Number 7, suggested I seek amicable relations with neighbors, implying access could be negotiated if I accept their encroachments. I would publicly like to say I have nothing personal with either homeowner. This is not personal at all. He told me that Cannon Township does not want the public to know about this public access. Number 9, claimed it was illegal for me to remove stones from the water. Kent County Road Commission handled all debris removal. Concerns and issues. As of May 26, access was completely blocked by private parties. Despite cleanup efforts, the public is now limited to approximately 18 inches of access, far short of the 20-foot easement defined by law. The 1982 court judgment and official plat map legally confirm both a 10-foot walkway and a 20-foot public easement. Yet Cannon Township and Kent County Road Commission have not enforced these laws on behalf of the public. Township officials have acknowledged verbal agreements with adjacent homeowners that allow current encroachments to remain despite blockage of public access. Watercraft and structures near or within the easement pose safety standards. If you could put that one up.
Safety hazards.
Safety hazards. Take a look at that picture.
That's the one you're looking at.
I respectfully ask that this matter be thoroughly reviewed by an appropriate legal authority. Why public officials are not enforcing a legally recorded 1982 judgment. Why the verbal agreements with private homeowners are being used to override public rights. Why signage and access boundaries are being deliberately withheld. All Michigan residents deserve transparency, fairness, and the lawful protection of public land. The township's current inaction raises serious questions about its compliance with the public trust and its legal obligations. I ask you, as stewards of public property and elected representatives, to do what's right. When public access is quietly handed over to private neighbors, those of us who don't live on the lake are denied Mr. and Mrs. William Kitson's gift. As a result, our home values and our trust in public institutions will suffer. Thank you. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Anybody? All right, thank you.
I have one question,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
I mean, obviously, this has been like this for a really long time. You said you've lived there for a long time.
Yep.
Why now? Why is it coming to your attention right
Well, the complete blockage was definitely the trigger, but the homeowner before the current 67, 80 homeowners built a peninsula that, see how the blockage at the end of the sidewalk? He was angry that it was public access. He hated the fact that it was public access. So he did everything to discourage us from using it. He built a peninsula out to block it. You could ask my neighbor who lives behind me what he did to he and his wife. I can't say it here, but it's not nice. It's not good. It's evil. And so, but the Memorial Day blockage, complete 100% blockage, triggered me.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, so Henry, before we get, here's how we're going to do this. Since we allowed you to come up, anybody, we're going to do public comment just on this issue. But Henry, before we do that, did you have anything to add to that? Okay.
Shall I sit down?
Yeah, she would like. I will tell you that these were an issue a few years ago, right? Remember that?
Yeah, about 5 years
And what the deal was, at least in part, the issue with those things is we were considering how do we handle those things because there's really no definition of public. Remember that?
Right.
And so the thing is that we have to be very careful with these things because if we publicize them, we were talking about signs back then. Public means public, and you could have people from all over Grand Rapids coming and using those easements. And so, well, I know, but we also we invited people from Bostwick Lake over here on at least one or two occasions and listened intently. And the concern was that we just want to keep it just quiet for the people that live in and around or on and around Bostwick Lake, rather than publicizing these as being lands of the public. That was our. Well, it was transparent because we invited the public here, and that's what we did. Well, everybody knows it is, though, and we don't. Well, but here's the deal. We represent the people of Cannon Township. We don't represent people of Kentwood or Grand Rapids. That's okay. I know. We, in listening to the people that live around Bostwick Lake, our decision was not to let everybody in the state know that they can use these access points. I don't know if it would or not. The consensus of the people that were in these meetings is they just didn't want to have it happen. So, okay, who wants to come up? Name and address, please. Anybody who just come on up. You don't have to raise your hand. Just walk up. Come up.
Come up to the podium.
Yeah.
Patrick Mulvihill, 7336 Eldred. I've lived on the lake for 30 years. We have a beautiful township park with off-street parking, with porta potty, nice beach. Why can't people use that?
I think people do use it.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
They.
I agree.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
John, you want to say something?
John Wengler, 6911 Goldenrod, and president of the Bostwick Lake Association.
No, clever.
So, can I ask, what is the? I'm hearing a lot of different things. I'm hearing easements. I'm hearing park. What is that space designated as?
It's really confusing. These guys may know better, but my understanding is that it's very confusing as to really what it is, what the intention was.
Yeah,
It was a gift to the public, right?
This one's unique. At the very end, it's part of the Cannon Township Park.
Mm-hmm.
This is very unique. It's the only one on the lake.
Oh, because of the proximity to the park.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the original intent, there was a band of property all the way around Bostwick Lake. So everybody on the lake could walk all the way around the lake in front of everybody's cottages, and that was considered a park. In 82, the lawsuit, those parcels were abandoned, and the property owners were given access from their property line to the water's edge.
Mm-hmm.
That one parcel, because of something, that 20-foot easement is part of the drainage easement and the park. Now,
Oh, that's why it's 20.
in 1982, what was meant by a park? That predates me. That predates any of the records we have. So I don't know what the who was driving that or what their force was. But currently, we have the 10-foot walkways and then that 20-foot park at the end. We need to have.
Can you just come up
to the front?
Do you have anything else, John?
I do, but I'll let Rich.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Help us out here.
Thank you.
So Rich Evans, 6776 Kitson Drive. I'm one lot over from where the easement that they're discussing. So 1980 approximately, all the 13 neighbors, a total of 13 of us, asked that the township vacate the parkland between the front of our lot lines and the water's edge. Well, then after the court proceedings for a year or two, they went on. DNR says, well, we would like to make sure that we have access to that, to Bostwick Lake. So our attorneys went in and attorneys came back and said, well, we're going to keep this parkland, which is like 100 feet or 90 feet on the end. We're going to keep that park, which is now county or park. We're going to keep that open and available.
The actual park that's up.
Park itself, because that was the end of the parkland where, and then the first dwelling there was where we were vacating it. So then the DNR says, okay, we're satisfied with that. So then Cannon Township says, well, that 10-foot easement that's there, we would like that to go to the water's edge, the walkway. So the walkway, attorneys went in and said, okay, we will have that walkway as part of the process. So the walkway goes from Kitson Drive to the water's edge, 10 feet wide. So then we think we're done, go back to court, King County Road Commission, Drain Commission. They come in, they said, well, you know, we have a drain, we have some roads that come in there, and we want to be able to, if we ever have any trouble with that drain, we want to make sure we can get equipment down there and service that drain. So we would like an additional 5 feet on each side. So we said, okay, if that's what it takes to get this vacated, then that'll work. So that's what was done.
That's where the
That's
20
how it
feet
was
came
done.
from.
20 feet came from that. So the intent was not, Cannon Township signed off on 10 foot of walkway to the water's edge.
How wide is that walkway? Is that 10 feet?
The cement walkway itself is probably about 5.5, 6 feet wide.
All right, so there's a border on one side and then there's plantings on the other. How long have those all been in place there? Many years?
Well, I've only observed it for 46 years.
Okay, so a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, honestly, probably the last 10 years, it's improved significantly. Before that, there was a homeowner there that didn't really care about the property that was in there and just let it all overgrow and things like that. So then about 10 years ago, one of the homeowners, or two of them, I think Tim's here too, his side, kind of like put plantings in, you know, you had erosion problems, it was all overgrown. And so they started to take care of that. It has not looked, in the 46 years that I've been there, it looks as good as it's ever looked right now. And I would hate to see that disrupted because it looks nice, very appealing. If you're walking down that easement, you're a person, be the people, you're walking down there and you look and it's beautiful. For probably 25 years, I'm on the right side. I look over and they had planted spruce trees to close off the access on the one side. I couldn't see that part of the lake at all. And then now over time, those spruce trees are gone. Nice, clear sight view. It's very nice. It's very appealing to the eye.
Can people access the lake now?
Absolutely. They always can. So, but remember one thing. This isn't a beach area. This is a drain.
Yeah, I see the drain. That's right.
So it's storm sewer drain. How? But why would you want to put steps into a storm sewer? I don't understand that. And why would you want to access, which is, it's the legal right, but why would you access into an area that dumps all the debris from the road, from lawns, animals, dumps it there in the water, and you want to make that an access point? I don't want to go in there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, okay. So, Henry, what is the answer to that? Why are we putting steps there?
Why? Because it's a public access point. And
So if people want to, they can.
right, what is there is not a
Doesn't mean you have to.
user-friendly approach to getting in the water.
The steps?
Yeah, it's very not user.
What about these big rocks? Are they still there?
Yes.
Which ones?
The great big boulders
I
that
know,
are
right?
part of the seawall
That's
there?
a seawall from the.
Oh, I see. Yeah, this picture. Are those all remaining there?
Yeah, those are there. It's on the left side is where the steps go in.
Oh, to in this picture
Right by the seawall.
where that bench thing is?
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
That's
Yeah,
a
right
seawall.
next to the seawall.
What? Okay, so you got the seawall,
Right,
then you got these boulders.
right. The
So-
boulders, those are something that was put in years ago.
Years and years ago. Do you know about when those were put in years ago? The big boulders.
Boulder seawall.
Probably about 10. So what was happening is that there's a lot of erosion.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, so Mr. Cole can verify the fact. So they redid the road. What was happening is we have all these roads and now everything's tarred around there. So all the water accumulates right there. And so then what happens now is that all that water accumulates, the drains plug up, and then the water goes every direction. It goes right through some of the property owner's house. And so when they redid the drain or the road, they redid that aspect of how that accumulates the water. And I'll tell you this, that Chad, I don't see him here, oh, Chad's back there. If it rains hard enough, them drains plug up And there's one person out there that's cleaning those drains out. So it doesn't flood Amy's house, it doesn't flood the road, and it's a whole lot safer. One person's doing that, and that's Chad. Once in a while I'll go out if I feel bad for him, but that's not normal.
You don't normally feel bad for Chad?
Nah, I don't feel bad for him. In the winter, that drain gets plugged up with snow plow, debris, ice, and all that part of it. There's one person that's out there blowing the drain clean to make sure that that water has a place to go. It's not me, it's not Amy, it's Chad. So I appreciate for the last 3 years the work that he's done to maintain not only the look of the property, but the flow of the work of the lake and the water flow through into the lake.
Am I right that John or whoever am I right that the consensus of those meetings we had is that we don't really want the whole world to know about this one or the other access?
Yeah, I would think that that was the sentiment from everybody.
We can hear John. John talks loud.
That was the sentiment from everybody at the meeting. Yes, and we think that whether you're on the lakefront or not, that benefits everyone from not having traffic and other people that we don't really have someone to police those areas all the time. And we have a good example, not to commingle the issues, but we have a good example on that access egress point off of Belding right now, where people park on Belding, which is dangerous, where they're smoking pot, where they're drinking, where they have loud music, where they're hanging out, using it between the two residences near the bakery, across from the bakery. And so we see what happens when these type of situations.
You don't want that to happen on these access.
Absolutely not. And we have multiple access points, and we would think that the entire neighborhood would appreciate that regardless. And this is an access egress point, which is what I was trying to get to. That's more than enough adequate space for somebody to get in and out of the water. And, we need to maintain this as a drain. The erosion and the silt that goes into the lake there is a concern. Those rocks are there not out of spite, but because, as Rich said, because of the erosion problem that previous homeowner was having there. And so what Henry's proposing is we're definitely aligned with that for the benefit of the entire neighborhood, people on and off the lake. We see what happens, and I know we're working on addressing the situation off of Belding right now, but it's a serious detriment, not just to the homeowners, but to the community. And last year, we were very appreciative of Cannon Township saving the Cannon Township Park. And this is one of the reasons where you've got a nice, clean police park for people that go. It's 100 yards to the right. I don't understand why anybody would not want to use that instead of making an issue of walking down the drain and trying to open it up even further for all the problems that we have. It's in the best interest of everyone in this community to keep this arrangement.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chad, did you want to say anything, or?
Well, it'll be kind of redundant.
It sounds like you're going to say
one
that.
more thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were.
Right here, if you guys wanted to look at it, July 10, 2022 is a picture of an individual that walked down the easement, trespassed, and went out at Tim's dock. So when that happened, and he was on his phone, I think he was smoking a doobie. I'm not here to judge. So he comes back, I see him walk up the easement, and I said, "Hey, sir, you understand that you were trespassing?" He says, "No, I wasn't. This is public property." I said, "The property get down is public, but you trespassed and went on there." So then the individual proceeded to threaten my life.
Whoa, really?
Threaten my life in no uncertain terms, and made it very clear what his intent was. My feeling was he was carrying a gun. So I kind of backed off. I threw the phone up to try to get that part of it. He went off. To your point about why we tried to keep that stuff quiet, he didn't live in the neighborhood.
Right.
He was not located in that area. He was gone. So that's the type of stuff that we try to avoid from happening.
Sure. So, okay, Chad?
I don't know, Chad, if you want to go first.
Anybody, come on up. Everybody can talk here, so. We don't adhere to the 3-minute thing, so take your time. Yeah. You're welcome. I always say if it's important enough for you to come here and you have more than 3 minutes of something to say, you should have the opportunity to do it. But if you have 5 minutes of something to say, don't take 10 minutes to say it. So go ahead.
I'll endeavor to respect your time and stay within the 3 minutes.
It's fine. It's your time. We're here. So
I'm Tim Griffith. My wife and I own one of the properties that is adjacent to this easement, and have owned it for about 10 years. I'll make really two primary points, and I have things that I can hand out if it's helpful to the board. One is that we're sort of surprised and we don't really understand all the commotion here. There are no impediments to the walkway. It's been accessed this way for 40 plus years. I've got a picture that I took yesterday that the walkway is open to anyone that wants to use it. It's not being advertised, but it's certainly open. And if the issue is that the walkway is not accessible, that's just simply not true. The other thing that I've learned a lot in the last month since this came up. This was not something that was a hobby for me. It came up because what felt like pretty aggressive actions on the part of Amy and the Road Commission. The 20-foot drainage easement specifically mentioned in the 1982 judgment it was for the benefit of public utilities. The Board of County Commissioners of Kent County, specifically the Kent County Drain Commission, as was acknowledged and laid out in the original petition. I have copies of the original petition. Again, I'm happy to share them with the board as it may be helpful. But it is clear in the petition, so this is the petition to the lawsuit that happened in '82, that the said plat shall be vacated subject to an easement therein for the use of public utilities. So I think that was the petition as it was filed with the court. When the court ultimately adjudicated on this, they agreed to an easement. And again, I've got copies if it's helpful for the board, specifically saying the plat shall be vacated. Oops, hold on, that's the same one. So this is the verbiage in the actual judgment. That the identified area subject to a 20-foot drainage and walkway easement in favor of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Kent. So I do think part of the confusion here is that it's believed that there is a 20-foot walkway and drainage easement. There are actually two things going on here.
Correct.
One is a 10-foot easement that was granted in 1916 by the Kitson family to the public. The second was that when this order was issued when this vacation was adjudicated in 1982, there was a noted drainage easement added to it so that the Kent County Drain Commission could work on the drain if they needed to. It did not extend the 10 feet. The 10 feet remains the public walkway down to the water's edge. The 20 feet is so that the Drain Commission, if they ever needed to, could work on the drain. So there are sort of two things, and I think they're being confused as one, that it's a walkway and drainage easement. That's not the case. It's a walkway that was granted, and in '82, there was a drainage easement provided to Kent County so that they could work on the drain if they ever needed to. They're not one and the same.
No.
And this conclusion has been reached by several parties, our attorney, the ordinance's attorney, and I believe Ron Reddick of Mika Myers on behalf of the township when it was reviewed.
Right.
So it's a point of clarity that I do think is important here because it's not 20 feet at the water's edge. It's 10 feet. And by the way, the water's edge is now right to the bottom of the drain as a result of Bostwick Lake now having a legal lake level. Once the legal lake level at 850 feet was put in, the water goes basically right to the base of the drain. So there is no parkland out at the lake bottom anymore.
No, and what you're talking about here is in paragraph 7 of the judgment. So I think there's a very strong argument, just reading this, that the easement is not for the public. It's for the benefit, it says, in favor of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Kent, right?
That's exactly how I understand it. And again, I believe
successors and assigns over a period of
right.
Which drainage and walkway easement, and then it has the legal description. So
right. Yeah, that's the conclusion that I've come to. I think several attorneys have come to as well. So again, I think this is a point of confusion that's worth clarifying. There's two things that lay on top of each other. One is the 10-foot walkway to the water's edge. The other is the 20 feet of drainage easement for the purposes of monitoring the drain. It's not a 20-foot public access. It's 10 feet of public access and 20 feet of drain commission easement. So I thought that was a point worth making. And again, as the board has heard on several occasions, it's puzzling to us that there's this much consternation trying to make it drain into a public access when there's a very nice public park 100 yards away with parking and bathrooms and steps and buoyed swim area and grass. So this seems to be a lot of effort that is a little bit confusing to us. So again, this is all that I've learned in the last 40 days. So.
For a quick study. Who's next?
Thank you.
Sorry, Chad, there's somebody in front of you. This is how people treat you, isn't it?
Paul Damon. I'm at 6740 Kitson. We're right next door to the larger public park. And, you know, that what's been said by several people, it makes more sense to move people to that direction. I mean, it's got plenty of space. I think it's 75 or 80 feet of frontage. You know, it's quite busy when it's hot, but to have people trying to use this, you know, as an access point just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, it can be problematic for us because we do get a fair number of people that kind of wander over in front of our property and start fishing, and we find lures in our dock and things like that, you know, that got stuck there by people fishing in the water. But I think, yeah, right. We had one guy went into our house to use our bathroom.
Really?
So yeah, that was kind of interesting.
That's
He thought our house was an outhouse. We were a little bit offended.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, Chad. No, I'm kidding you. Go ahead. You're good.
Well, first, I wanted to thank you guys all for your time today on this. My name's Chad Ortis. I live at 6780 Kitson. That is the property east of the drain that is in question today. To my knowledge, the seawall has been in place for 10 years, like you've already heard about. And I've only lived there for 3, so I'm kind of shocked at all this. I've had no problems for 2 years. And
Is that your house with the seawall?
the rocks, correct?
Yeah, okay.
Right. And that's the way I bought it. If you want to look on, you know, any kind of realtor, it's a realtor. The realtor pictures are still up there. You know, so you can take a look at it. My main issue is, well, I have 2 main issues. The drain itself has erosion issues, you know, and that pictures, you know, look great every now and then, but when it rains, it changes because all the sand blows away and then there's rocks and everything underneath it. When the wake boats and all the other boats and the waves come in, it brings sand back in, so then it looks great. So those pictures can be a little deceiving that you've seen earlier. Again, when the 4 parties met that were responsible for this property, the Griffiths, myself, Cannon Township, and Kent County, we all agreed upon, you know, a couple of things. More riprap, not less. So cleaning it out isn't going to do anything for anybody unless we're going to dredge the lake, because my boat, if you look at my boats and my dock, they sit out 10 feet further than Mr. Griffith's and Mr. Evans's in the same depth of water. So that erosion has already started pushing sand out there. And that was our thing going forward, is we were just going to move forward with that step and more riprap.
What is riprap?
We were calling it riffraff.
No, I
and,
riprap. I thought you were talking about Wayne.
We were called, so I didn't know it was called riprap either. And Mr. Cole just said, when we were calling it riffraff, he's like, no, that's what you don't want down there. You want riprap.
What is riprap?
Apparently,
I'm saying it right. Riprap.
Riprap.
What is it?
It's rocks, just like you're doing, which made no sense to take out my rocks to put in your rocks.
Slow down the flow of the water, so the water doesn't.
Oh, when it comes off the. Okay, so all right.
Okay, and then I'll be quick because
don't worry about it.
all this has been covered, but all the surrounding neighbors agree that the walkway is kept very well, and adding tax dollars to improving a drain is crazy when you have a park 6 houses down or 105 yards that was lasered.
All right.
And the parties are the Evans party, which you heard from Mr. Bright, who's here today, Mr. John Chesney, who's here today. I probably just carved that up. Mr. Griffin, who's here, myself, and by proxy, Tori Haddett. That's 1 house down. They all agree that the place looks great and there shouldn't be any change.
All right.
And
Anything else?
Yeah, just no.
You can. We're here. So.
Well, I just feel like this whole thing, regardless of what she said, feels personal and vengeful for what reason, I don't know. I've done nothing. Yeah, well, if you look at the complaints.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for your time today.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Come on up.
This the diagram with the 1982 court order was given to me by L.R. Cole. Now, why would he highlight that the drives, walks, parks as shown on the said plat are hereby dedicated to the use of the public. Why would he do that? He's a professional. Why would he do that? Why would he highlight on the court judgment that the 1982 court order shows a 20-foot drainage and walkway easement?
Well, that's what the judgment says in favor of the Board of County Commissioners.
So why, I mean, this is from Kent County Road
Well,
Commission
all right, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
directly. So I said my.
Okay. So, anybody else have anything to? Okay, come on up.
Michael Myers, 6747 Kitson Drive Northeast. Majority of people that have come up here, with the exception of Amy, seem to be, emphasizing that it's just used for drain. But it clearly is, and the reason that 20-foot was stated it was a trade-off, so that because all these other people didn't want the park area to go all the way around the lake, so okay, well then we'll just give you 20 feet, and that was the agreement. Nobody's emphasizing that because the neighbors have built their properties on that public property from getting a permit that was not correctly dealt with way back when it was requested. And I think, what Amy's presenting is what's right is right, and sure, everybody's got opinions on the aesthetics. Somebody might be carrying a gun or was threatened me once. I mean, that's irrelevant. The point is, I think the emphasis that I'm trying to get, I'd like the board to discuss is the walkway and having it for the public. Yeah, it's fine that there's a park over there, but this was also supposed to be part of that park. And
where is that is supposed to be? Huh?
What he's saying is not what's in it.
That's what I was going to say. Do you have some finding by a court or something that says that was supposed to be part of the park, but just in a different location?
No, I'm not sure what you're hearing. Maybe
you're saying that this was always supposed to be part of the park, and that was always the understanding.
There was a green space. Someone said that there was a trail all the way around that was verbalized as a park, and the people didn't want that anymore. We don't want people walking in front of our house, so they went to the court, and the court came up with this plan. Okay, we'll just give you 20 feet, and that's public. And then now it's down to 5 feet.
I don't think that's really what the judgment says, though. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think the issue is, and that 5 foot or 6 foot so-called walkway is not really a safe walkway. And one of the gentlemen emphasized about the Chad doing his whatnot to clear the drain. There is a drain not in that picture that he's probably referring to, but the water will just continue past that drain and go right down there, and nobody can be walking down there when there's the water going down there. There's a lot of cracks in there, so it's not even a safe walkway to consider it as part of the public.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody? All right. Anybody? Nobody? Okay. Or are you just doing this?
No.
Not you, Chad. Sorry. All right. So I have, if you'll indulge me for a second, here's what I think on this, because I'm like the only one on the board that hasn't touched this yet. This access makes zero sense to me. It makes no sense. I get what's in all of this, but I am an attorney, but I am not a real estate or property attorney. But I can tell you there are laws of adverse possession in play here, it seems like to me, because this has been used this way for many, many years, sounds like to me. And I think that it's fortunate for people that want to keep this as a walkway that Henry and Jim and whoever else worked on it, because if it were up to me, I would have tried to find a way to vacate this whole thing and not have it be part of any park. It makes no sense between docks like this. This was never the intent here. I can't imagine. This makes no sense. And it is always, it seems like to me, at least the way I read the judgment, drainage and walkway. It was really a drainage. And I mean, Henry and Jim have decided, right, that you were involved in that. Yeah. You guys have decided now ours going to put a thing down there to people want to go swimming there or whatever they want to do down there in the gravel and whatever in the drainage water. It's not my call. So I would say that that's for people that want that. That's about as good as I think this board will give you, honest to God. And I don't think they needed to do all that, to be honest with you. That's my view of it. But that's what you guys have already decided to do, right?
Yep.
Do you need us to ratify that here, or have you're good? Okay.
LR, do you want anything?
Do you want to say anything, LR? You don't need to. Okay, usually when I say that, you're not supposed to say anything, but that's okay. No, go ahead, LR. What do you want to say? Go ahead, LR, if you really want to. If you want to make it worse. What? Well, there's a lot we could say about that, but you learned it from MDOT, if you know what I'm saying. No, so I don't think that's really what the intent was, and I think that I'm talking about the 1982 judgment because that postdates that. The laws of the state of Michigan. That's what's it was a judgment by a court, and
we aren't taking it away. It's
nobody's
still
taking anything. What? Well, that's the court. Well, that's what the court said, and there was some resolution of this, yeah, and that's been resolved. It's defined right here. It is Jim's.
The 10 foot is public access. The 20 foot is a drainage easement for the county.
I don't care who wants to swim there. I've seen people do worse things in this township. Okay. I didn't make it. I said what anybody wants to do is up to them. It's not Well, why don't you go to the park?
Because this is a legal access, legal public access. I shouldn't have to trace up and down the stairs.
Park is not as convenient. The bed from the bed orders, they come down this one because the other part is down.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. Do a lot of people use this? What?
It doesn't matter how many people
No.
okay. Since I've been posting on Nextdoor, I have not seen that one additional person use that walkway. Not one. And I'm going to bring camera on that walkway. Not one. So that's a bad argument too.
What argument? I just asked a question.
So many people would start using that. They're not.
Oh no, my that wasn't an argument. That's what we learned from the people that live there. They didn't want to publicize this. What are you posting on Nextdoor? All right.
Hey, Steve.
What'd you say?
Steve.
I know.
I think we're done with this.
Well, here's the deal.
Steve,
All right.
Steve,
So
can I ask you a question?
yeah.
The FOIA request that Amy's talking about, what he
Amy,
said that
please.
it's
Amy, please.
a public walkway. Are you saying that the 1982 document overrides the
Yeah,
thing
this was
from
a
the 30 and 40s?
vacation. This is a judgment. I just saw this.
So it's irrelevant then, the FOIA,
What for you?
the one that Amy just mentioned. I just want to clarify that I'm following
Well,
you.
that's
So
Jim's. What did you give her?
Well, she asked for a bunch of stuff. I estimated it was going to take about 200 worth of time and
Okay.
copies, and our
No, I know.
that's what I'm talking about. The FOIA.
For crying out loud. That's what can we just, hey, can we do this, please? Thank you.
The FOIA that Amy sent to me would require me looking through about 390 pages of documents for what she asked for, and
you gave her
redacting information with people's names and addresses. I gave her an estimate cost of, I don't know the cost now, $200 and some. We require 50% down payment for that. She wanted it for free because it was in a public purpose. I disagreed with that.
Yeah.
Said she could appeal it to the board. That requires a whole different process.
Right.
She redid her FOIA 3 different times, asking for the same thing with different words.
Hang on.
And
Get to the part.
Mimi, if you don't want to stop talking over everybody, we will ask you to leave.
Hang on. Let's
done.
Hang on.
Okay.
Now listen.
Then I took it to our lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I took it to I can't remember the new guy's name.
Brad Fowler.
Brad. And they said, we'll take it from here. He did the whole thing. He did the write-up of the cost. His costs come up a little over $900, and said the same thing. The 50% deposit is $400 and some. We'll start getting the information as soon as we get the deposit. And if it isn't paid within 30 days, the FOIA is considered vacated.
But that doesn't really answer Jessica's question, does it, Jessica?
I don't know what
Jessica's question was. The response to the FOIA that you said, does that supersede the judgment? Whatever you told her.
On page 2, June 9th. There's
What?
On page 2, June 9th, Amy said that Jim responded with that. I don't know if that's accurate, but right here.
I'd have to, if it's my email, it's accurate. But
well, it's what he said, but it doesn't matter what Jim says.
I was responding to what she was asking.
We have a judgment from 1982, April 22 of 1982, signed by George Cook, circuit judge, and it says, and it's I will say it's a confusing judgment because of the way it's worded. But it says the area identified in paragraph 1, which is, where's paragraph?
20 foot. Sure.
There is no one in this. I don't have a paragraph 1 in the copy I got. So anyway, whatever paragraph 1 says, but it does say that shall be vacated. That's subject to a 20-foot drainage and walkway easement. I don't know, a drainage in favor of the county board of county commissioners of the county of Kent. So what it seems like to me where we are now is, it seems like to me a drainage easement is in the water, isn't it? Isn't that a drainage easement?
No,
I don't know.
It can be. It doesn't have to be.
Well, here's the thing. The bottom line on the thing is, to me, this thing has been used this way for a great number of years. And I don't see a way in the world we're going to make these people get rid of their plantings, their fence, and there's no way we should touch that seawall or the rocks, because then you're just asking for trouble, because then you've got erosion problems and all kinds of problems. So well, I don't know, but what I do know is that if Eagle approved those, then that's another reason we can't touch. Well, I'm not gonna. All right, go ahead.
No, all I was going to add was you had the question about, I mean, I mentioned about it's a trade-off. You see that word park. So all of this was.
I'm sorry, what are you looking at?
On Amy's page 3.
Oh, I got this.
Yeah.
Here. Okay, page
So
3.
So the trade-off, as I understand it, was that, you know, where it says park in white onto the right side of that green square, the people who own those properties were able to, you know, get rid of the park. That was the vacated portion, but it was the trade-off was that they would maintain that 20 foot.
That could be.
And the bottom
But I
line
don't
is
have paragraph 1, so I don't know. but you may be right.
Yeah, well, I know I'm right, but the point is, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but I guess what the board is saying is that they're not going to do anything to enforce this. Is what basically I'm hearing. Is that the general consensus that the board?
Well, no, we're not going to do any. It's not that we're not going to do anything. You've come up with a resolution, right?
We're gonna keep the path open. We're gonna keep the walkway open for the residents to use that and use it as an access point. We're gonna make it safer for them.
You're going to put the steps in. You're putting steps in.
Right. That's the safer.
Yeah, but that's 18 inches though. I would suggest that the whole 5-foot area or larger.
Because of the amount of riffraff we need for the underground.
I don't think that's your call. I think it's somebody above, even perhaps.
I had an expert with me. I wasn't me deciding that. I'm not the expert on drainage. We had the drainage expert there.
You had a road commissioner. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. He's the drainage expert, not me.
Right. Okay. So people can use it, and I mean, this thing hasn't apparently been used the way it was supposed to since 1916 or whatever. And then we've got this judgment from 82. And certainly, if you're right, I don't have paragraph 1, I have no reason to think you're not right. The green on there is a walkway easement. It says 20 feet, but there's no way it's ever been used as 20 feet. And it looks like, I'm aware that was before all of us, but that's where we are now. It's always been used that way. So there are all kinds of legal issues here. And unless the board wants, I'll be willing to talk to our lawyer about this and spend a few $100s to get an opinion, or we can just let the plan that Henry and Jim put together with L.R. Cole from the county go ahead with that and see how it works. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
The one thought I did have is, there are 14,966 people in Cannon Township, and 14,964 of them don't want us to spend their tax dollars on something like this.
Well, there's an answer. Okay. So what? You want me to do it?
I think we've got a resolution.
I think we're fine. Well, we've considered it, and I get the points, but if it were me, I would get rid of that whole thing anyway.
So our attorney did review it on July 24th. Our attorney did review it on July 24th.
Yeah, there is.
Go ahead.
Our attorney did review this on July 24th.
Yeah, is that the one that's privileged?
It's sent to you from Ron
Reddick.
Reddick, yes.
No, it's in the back. There's one that is the answer to
The
Amy.
FOIA thing.
The other one is a privilege letter to me with an opinion.
Well, Reddick said that what we're doing is
Yeah.
legally good. All right, so we don't need to go back to the attorney. So we've got the county, we've got the attorney. That's enough.
Right.
All right, what's next?
Chief.
What? Oh yeah, this is okay. Good. All right, so Chief, you want a new fire engine, right?
Thank you. Cannon Township Fire Department is proposing to replace their 1998 engine number 3 with a new 2026 Spartan Towing Pumper Rescue. This purchase of this apparatus will consolidate the function of both aging engine 3 and Rescue 11, which was retired 3 years ago. We retired that Rescue 3 years ago, putting the equipment on our engine 3 at the time as a trial to see if consolidating these two trucks would work. It did work out good for us, and so other than the fact that the old engine just doesn't have the compartment space for that combination. So for the past 2 years, we have been working with Spartan Towing Manufacturer to develop a detailed specs to secure bid for this critical piece of apparatus. The result of that bid totaled $960,000.
Good. Hang on one sec. Okay, go ahead.
$960,432.64. With towing, we would be continuing our partnership. Currently, we are operating 4 towing units and standardizing our fleet with another towing apparatus would ensure consistency in operation and design. We have maintained an excellent working relationship with towing for 22 years, and they've consistently provided us with low bid for our last 4 purchases. This replacement is in line with the National Fire Protection Association standard, which recommend reassigning apparatus to reserve status after 15 years of service and fully replacing after 25 years of service. Our engine 3 at this time is beyond that 25 years. I've included the attached copy of our fleet replacement schedule along with the contract and the specification for this proposed truck. I know I'm a firm believer of getting 3 bids, but this situation has developed to I think the benefit of our township. I have managed to secure the rights to a L9 Cummins engine, which is the present engine that is being used in the trucks. As of the end of 26, we would have to go to the new generation of the Cummins engine, which would be an increase of roughly $50,000 at that point. So at this time, I would like to recommend, I think it's to the benefit of the township to move on this rig without the 3 bids. I really, in my 48 years of service to the fire department, I never thought I'd be sitting here at this point and asking for a $900,000 vehicle. However, in the
what would this have cost, I don't know, 10 years ago?
Well, 5 years ago, this vehicle would have cost us $600,000. The environment at this point is there's been 2 manufacturers at this point now that has announced that again they're going to ask for another 10% raise in their vehicles at the end of this summer. So it's not slowing down at this point.
You don't have bids, but you did do comparisons with fairly similar vehicles.
Yes, we have. For the Kent County purchases, which I'm one of the members of the Kent County Fire Commission Board, in 23 we purchased a truck for Solon for $868,900. In 2024 we purchased a truck for Caledonia at $993,000. And last year, we inked a contract for Cedar Springs for $897,000. Also, in the last year, Olive Township has approved a bid of $1,040,000. Blendon Township has approved a price of a $1,170,000. And in 2023, Cascade Fire Department approved a contract for $960,000. So the pricing is in that range. Like I say, I think the benefit at this point is being able to secure the present engine and not going to the next generation of engine.
And how long have you been working with Roger?
We've had a working relationship with Roger for roughly about 18 years. And like I say, we've had a working relationship with Toyne, who Roger represent for 22 years.
And that fits with our other towing vehicle.
That fits with our other towing vehicles.
All right. So the chief is asking for $960,432.64.
So
Motion. Second.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Chief. When do we get this? Tomorrow?
Production date on this is 875 days. Now, it doesn't take 875 days to build it, but that's the waiting list before it get to.
Do we have to sign something, or is this good enough?
Yeah, I'll have a contract for you to sign.
All right. Good. Yes,
You're welcome.
they're the best. All right, there's a correspondence regarding Meadow Ridge new path committee reports. Who's got something?
I've got something from Park and Rec.
Go ahead.
Had a little bit of a hiccup this morning, so the Canon communicator was scheduled to be mailed out on the 1st of August. And in that communicator, we have a QR code to a survey because it's it's every 5 years we do a survey when we start working on our master plan, Park and Rec plan. And so in order to create the QR code about 60 days ago, we uploaded a dummy survey and not expecting anyone to ever see it. And so the printing company got done with printing early and thought they were doing us a favor and mailed it out. And last Saturday, everyone started receiving the Canon communicator. And so if you hit the QR code, you looked at a survey that is bogus. So I apologize if you've gone, it wasn't functioning because people were like, well, it's like multiple choice, but I can only select the first one. That's because it was never, the functionality was never programmed. So August 1st, the actual survey will be coming out. The plan all along was tonight we had our Park and Rec meeting. So I want to get everybody together, take a final look at the survey, make last minute adjustments, and then it'll be uploaded tomorrow and be ready to go for August 1st. So anyways, if you filled it out, I apologize. I'm sorry for that hiccup, but please check it out again after August 1st because we'd love your input. The cameras are working again on the pickleball court. I know that was a big concern for a while. They are fixed and working. So thank you, Jim, for your efforts on that. Appreciate it.
Turns out our cameras, when we set up the link, the camera company has a maximum of like 5 months, and that link goes away. So we're working with them now to, so we don't have to do this every 5 months, that we can have an extended period on that. But they don't want it to go there forever because the cameras don't necessarily last forever. So we're working on the updates.
Thank you.
Good.
2 more things. I mentioned this last week. I want to mention again, there'll be some public meetings coming up on the bike trail developments. So on August 27th at 6 o'clock right here in this room, Kent County is going to be here and be reporting about the new trail that is called the Grand River Greenway that's coming out Cannonsburg Road that hopefully we'll be able to at some point connect to out of Cannonsburg Village out to the ski area. So they're going to be talking about that on the August 27th at 6 o'clock. Would love to see you here. Then also on September 22nd at 5:30, this will be in the fire training room. Kent County Parks is coming back out, but we'll be talking about the Keys expansion of the trail. This is the northern part of the Cannon Trail, hooking it finally to Rockford. So we're very excited about this last edition of the trail. So if you're excited more, we'd love to see you come out at September 22nd, 5:30. That's all.
Well, anybody?
I've got something. The communicator went out early. It's the first time I got busted for beating a deadline, but that is what it is, right? I got a really nice email that I think I should just share. It actually got this evening. This gentleman's a resident of Cannon Township, and he wanted to say that he loves the articles that Steve Grimm writes in the Township updates. Loves them. So thanks, and he loves how our whole team works together as the board. So I thought I'd just share that. Also, this is kind of under Parks and Rec. There's an event August 12th. It's called Oh Cannon Kids Rocks. We have an artist that we actually introduced about, a couple months ago? Yep. And we are going to be from August 12th from 3:30 to 6. Anyone's welcome. It's ideally for kids, say 5 to 12, but adult kids are welcome as well. We're going to be painting rocks, and then the artist is going to be actually organizing them in kind of like elaborate, how do you say that word? Labyrinth? The pathway that you walk through in a circle. Thank you. And it will be on the trail, if you think of the loop back there, about 9 o'clock. So that will be a really cool event as well. That's it.
Good. Other committees?
I do, yes. In the communicator was the Summerlingo Bingo. That is now out, and feel free to turn those into the fire department for free ice cream.
That's it? All right. Who else? Committee? No? Comments by board members? I went to the historical thing luncheon.
Did you go?
Oh, yeah.
You had a good time?
Oh, I did. And it was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
They talked about when the township was started in the very first board, Jim was just a trustee. what was that? 18 what?
43.
43. No, it was actually really good. It was fascinating. It was, and a lot of these older family, people that were there, and we need to. Here's the thing. I told them that because they were saying we really want to start publicizing this more, right? And I said, well, then do it. And they said, well, will the board say okay? And I said, well, why wouldn't? It's your thing. Just whatever you want, let us know. But make sure you do your homework with it, and we'll find the money for it.
In fact, you and I already talked about that. I'd love to see that for a little more. In fact,
I'd love to put it in here.
Yeah, they should start writing an article.
You guys should get with them and see what they want.
Bet.
And they wanted their own website, which is I don't care. That's fine if they want, right? Have a link from ours to theirs and have one, and I think they should. And I said,
I thought they had one already, but they don't.
It is a treasure in our township.
It is, and I think we should promote it.
Yeah.
And they said this person was there from this conglomerate of little museums, Plainfield, Cortland, whatever, and they said, well, Cannon is the center of all of that. And I said, we get that a lot. So, because Cannon's kind of the center of everything around here. So, anyway, that's it. All right, other comments? Anybody?
I do.
What? Go.
You may have heard the complaints. You may have been one of the complainers. Part of my job is to issue solicitation permits for companies that want to knock door to door and sell their products. GreenX and EcoShield are two that have applied this year. EcoShield has violated their solicitation permit, and they've been revoked and banned for 5 years. We've twice now threatened to arrest their solicitors because they are still soliciting anyway. I'm in the process of rewriting our solicitation ordinance based on Ada, Cascade, and a couple other ones. We only charge $25 for a permit. Cascade is about $280 per person because they do a nationwide security check. We do a Michigan State security check. Most of these kids are from Colorado, Utah, California, and so they could have records and we don't know about. So looking at that, and also they have what they call a do not knock registry form. So anybody in the township fill out this form that I'm creating could be on a registry. When they get a solicitation permit, they get this thing say, don't knock on these or you're going to jail.
Oh, I like that.
Or a ticket. The first ticket is $1,000. The second ticket is up to 90 days in jail and another $1,000. Up to $1,000. But that's signed by the circuit judge. So, so anyway, we're going to stiffen up our ordinance so residents don't have to deal with solicitors.
Okay, Dad.
Yep, that's it.
Wyatt Earp over here. Okay. What else? Anybody? Any
Sewer
other
bills.
What?
Sewer bills are due the 31st.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Public comment. Anybody have anything? Oh, well, here we go. Go ahead. Come on up. Whoever.
I'll go first. I'm Lisa Bade. I live at 6700 Summer Meadows. First item for the board, if we have hot topics on the agenda, I know you are allowed to say when public comment will be held, but I was very disappointed that there was no public comment for the Bella Woods conversation. I think that would have been very necessary before you guys move to take a vote. I know you've had other votes and I didn't attend those meetings and I apologize for that, but I would have appreciated an opportunity. I know there is not a good relationship with MDOT, but I am curious about the traffic study. One consideration, I did share this with Eastbrook while they were here, is I've lived in my home for 11 years now, and there have been significant car accidents in front of our subdivision as well as in front of Wildermere. You probably know this because the fire chief responds. And there have been some that have happened after hours before we had 24-hour response. I get the traffic study is done when it is, but March seems to be sort of a perfect time when everyone is driving a little bit slower and more cautiously because it's also winter. So I'd be curious what the traffic study would tell us in September when everybody goes back to school and we have school buses and children and everybody going to work. I think there are going to need to be some significant changes made to the roadway. We don't have a designated right turn into our neighborhood, but I can say that everyone who resides in our neighborhood has made an unofficial right turn lane into our neighborhood. There are many times in which we are tailgated right up until that point of turning right, and it's just not safe. Some of the accidents at Wildermere happen because that's a crest, and depending on building runs east-west, right? And depending on the time of day, you have the sun setting and the sun rising. That also tends to be when people are going to and from work. So I think we're going to have some issues. I love the traffic lights. I think that's a great way to slow it down. I don't think it's going to help. So we
well,
really
it
need
won't
to
help
give.
because they won't give them to us probably.
Yeah, well, I just
But
think
we've
that
been asking.
I know, I understand, and I appreciate you asking, but I really do think that something's gonna have to change, or we're just gonna see more people get hurt. Either people from our neighborhood or people from that neighborhood. Also, I do get concerned about the trail. I have two littles that frequent that trail, and thankfully they're old enough now to like watch both ways. But we're gonna have 130-ish cars leaving that neighborhood, crossing the trail that runs along Belding. So we might need to think about that too, because people ride their bikes, they run, they do all the things. So we have to make people aware that they're flying in and out of that neighborhood when crossing that trail.
Where does that other neighborhoods that cross?
There isn't one.
I don't know what you're.
It's just
talking about.
driveways.
No, the trail, does that cross any neighborhood
Nope.
anywhere?
No.
Yeah, it's just driveways.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes
I
up
suppose
through
it
Somerset
does.
Meadows. It comes north from Somerset Meadows and then goes back west.
It
on-
crosses up through
It doesn't
Complete
even
Road.
come through. Yeah, we don't even have it at the entrance to our subdivision because it turns right there and goes behind that cul-de-sac.
Mhm.
I guess there is a crossway at the new neighborhood off of 9 Mile.
Mhm.
But that's very like that neighborhood is not 60 whatever it was, 8 houses.
It does cross the main road of Somerset Meadows. When you go across, it crosses the road.
It does. That is another point I was going to make, though. But that is, yes, we do. We do have a speed limit through there, though, and we also have a
People
cul-de-sac.
listen to the speed
We have a cul-de-sac at the end of the road, right? And so you come. I'm at the first house on the left, and so as you're coming in my neighborhood, we often, unfortunately, it's a county road, so we can't do anything, but we have to like tell people to slow down coming up off the
Right.
building. People are hauling because they're coming off of 55 miles an hour and then they're entering that neighborhood. It's just something to think about, right?
They're going to think about all that when it gets to the planning commission.
Yep.
The trail in the form of a sidewalk goes north on Myers Lake Road. Isn't that part of the trail, or is that just a sidewalk?
You're talking about, yeah, it goes from.
So that crosses Cannon Farms.
Yeah, it crosses.
It's a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Towns.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and I hear you, Doug. Except for this is a new thing, right? And we have to keep in mind that like this is a little bit different than like when there's a difference between coming up and like on Myers Lake and hitting that stop sign. Like that's been there for a long time. That sidewalk has been there for a long time, right? The trail piece of that, deeming the sidewalk as part of the trail, is relatively new.
The Myers Lake sidewalk was put in by the township as part of the trail. Also, the sidewalk originally
Okay.
we were going to go west by Bella Vista.
Okay.
But that cut off
I'm just-
people's front doors.
I'm just worried about littles, right?
Yep.
The littles,
Oh, we
like
are- so are
the
we.
township park has a playground.
But there are
We've got an
other
awesome
develop-
mountain
the
biking
Springer
trail.
development that goes across the road in
Yep.
front of the Springer development.
Personally, I don't let my 9 and 11-year-old cross the corner of Myers Lake and Belding Road because they're gonna get squashed like a bug, right? So they go down the trail and they come here to the park and they come to the mountain biking trail and all the things, right? So just bringing that up as a point. I had one other thing. You were talking about ticketing or hiring somebody to ticket. Is Kitson a county road or is that?
County Road.
So we still have a problem with people parking in our neighborhood. While you're talking about Kitson, we have a problem with people parking in our neighborhood to use the trail all the time. all
you do?
the time on people's property.
Are those public roads over there, county roads?
They're county.
Through yours?
Yep. So I'm just bringing it up while we're having the conversation. I'd love it if people could get ticketed because.
Is that where the trail goes
Yep.
right from here?
Yep. So they choose to park despite our signage.
Are there county no parking signs?
There are township, or I mean, there are HOA.
HOA. We put them up
Why
ourselves.
don't you have them put no parking signs there? The county?
Where are we talking? I don't know.
Okay,
Right
so
there in Somerset,
Summer-
where the trail
goes
crosses.
right down
Is that
here.
Panniers Lane? What is the road?
No, it's not Panners. Somerset Meadows.
Somerset
Okay.
Meadows, where it goes right over
Okay,
here.
Yep.
thank you.
Mhm.
And just like within so many feet, however they do that, because she's saying people are parking right by where that trail is now.
There are signs there now, by the way,
But HOA.
but they're HOA, yes.
Well, let's get.
I think there's more.
Parking signs.
Would you like county no parking signs up there?
And
We
they
like
will issue
county
tickets.
fees, the
Or would
HOA
that be
precedent.
Although, if anybody parks in their front yard along the road, they will also get a ticket because the county doesn't know if it's somebody using a trail or somebody having.
Let us talk about it and we will get back to you.
Yeah, talk to your HOA.
But I mean, there have been situations, not nearly as heated as this, though, where we have had people using the trail who do not live in our neighborhood, screaming and yelling at us that that's the only place they can park. And we direct them to here,
Good.
and they still want to yell. So
Well, we can take it up.
thank you for your time. I
no,
appreciate it. I think there's a lot more to this Bella Woods thing that needs to be considered.
It's
other
going to
than
go
what's
to the
been
planning
voiced.
commission.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
And then,
It's not
just so
done.
you know, we have public comment in the beginning, and it says related to agenda item. That's
And nobody spoke.
I didn't speak because I wanted to hear what had to be said. So
Well,
it's
but here's
kind
the
of
other
hard
thing-
to say
other
anything
thing-
if you don't know what's going to be talked
well.
about.
The other thing I was going to say too is, I think people know you. If you raise your hand, we're the only place.
I sit on several state boards, and so I'm a strict Robert's Rule follower, and I was going to follow
we're
the
not at all.
agenda. Well, I that became clear, but
Yeah.
that's my background,
No.
and I do, and so I didn't
No, just
interrupt.
raise your hand because
Okay.
we
Well-
want to hear from people.
Well, okay. Like I said, I sit on state boards, and I was like, oh, I know how to
We're
play
not
this
like
game. I'm not going to do that. So, all
right.
right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Come back to us if you want those signs or anything else, sir.
So I'm Andrew Lidrow, 6269 Hazel Green Drive in Rockford. That puts me in Cortland Township. So I'm following up in regard to the solar discussions that have been ongoing here. So I sit on the Government Relations and Funding Subcommittee of the Rockford Sustainability Committee, which is an advisory committee to the Rockford City Council. We're in the process of talking about trying to put solar in part of the process of redoing Krause Library, potentially on the parking lot. We'd like to follow your lead on that. One of the discussions that came up today in our committee was with Cheryl Scales, who sits on City Council.
Yeah.
They're in discussions with Ada Bible Church to actually put a wellhead there and actually purchase lands there.
Right.
Cheryl brought this up. She said, well, maybe one of your solutions to try to find places to put solar would be on top of Rockford's whatever place that would be.
How big is that thing going to be?
There, that's what we'd have to work that out. Cheryl got back to me tonight. She said about 4 acres.
Henry's. I'm sorry.
I'll help you with that. The problem with that is because we have 5 acres up the road sitting there, and they pay 3% if you don't have it on the property with the meter.
And that's what I didn't know. I was just bringing it up, as a potential that you guys crunch the numbers, see if it still, flies and comes out as
Well,
good
we're
as it was
considering it
before.
still. I think the problem we're having is where we could put it here.
Right, and that's what I was hearing. So this came up, and it could be a collaboration. The word I got from Cheryl Scales was, we'd have to run it through City Council there. Any kind of agreements. This is just an early discussion, bubble it up and see. The town manager Thad Beard, would be on board and with the
I don't know
solutions
how
as well.
solar works. If we could put it remotely somewhere,
And that would be this idea.
That's
and I don't know how you would.
it only what? What does that mean? Oh, so you're saying it might not be worth it? Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm sorry, we don't allow public comment now. Go ahead.
No more. You had
Put your hand down.
And yeah, I'm just throwing it out there, if potential collaboration.
Okay. Well, he's the guy. I would say get with Henry, and you guys, if you can figure something out.
And I think Megan linked us up by email. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, thanks.
Come on up again.
Well, I was just going to say that with solar right now, I don't know if the township has any different criteria, but a lot of the tax benefits are going to be going away. And so we would want to think about whether the spend is actually, if it's just worth the space.
I agree.
I have talked to the solar companies, and they're only dealing with residential right now. They're no longer talking to anybody like us. They're working on residential.
I will say one more addition. We said we weren't going to have any more elections. Kent Intermediate School District Board voted last week to put their millage on the ballot in November. So we will have a special election in November for Kent Intermediate School District, which will be a township wide.
All right. Anybody? Oh, wait. Oh, you're leaving? Okay. Now you said your thing and now you leave. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yes.
Hi, Matt Chipley, 6547 Summer Meadows Drive, Northeast. My biggest two concerns with the Bella Woods is the enforcement of the HOA. Being new to Michigan, the HOA atmosphere, and being on the board for Somerset Meadows, there's only so much you can do when you're policing your peers. So the idea of them not being able to cut down trees, this sewer pump that they're going to install is going to be turned over to the HOA for them to maintain, clean. How much does that cost? I remember one of the meetings they were talking about the crux or what you're trying to stay away from is sewer pumps because of how expensive they are.
Yeah, you don't like them.
And so, despite not loving the idea of having 7 or 8 lots added, the idea that this HOA and the people that buy into this are going to be on the hook for, one, maintaining the trees that they were saying that everyone's wanting that to not cut down, and then also this sewer pump that they're going to be in charge of maintaining and keeping up to date and running properly. Otherwise, it's going to clog up and it's just going to end up going down the hill the other way to Sunfish Lake and or Silver Lake.
I think the sewer pump will be property of the North Kent Sewer Authority, so we will be in charge of the upgrade and maintenance.
Yeah,
it won't be the residents.
Okay.
They're going to pay for that, but it's going to be part of the North Kent sewer system.
And as far as the HOA and the no disturb, I live on Cortland Drive, and Hunter's Ridge is behind me. One of the things we got when they put Hunter's Ridge in was a no disturb zone, and we've got I think 7 lots that are 12 acres and more. And if anybody cuts a branch, everybody in the whole development complains. So the policing, that thing's been there since 1991 or 2, somewhere in there. Yeah. And there hasn't been a tree cut in all that time because the neighbors, they police each other very good.
Okay.
The ones they've got in Cortland Township over here, they've got 2 or 3, I think they've got 2 and somebody else has got the other one. But again, the neighbors, you don't want to go out there with a saw or your neighbors are complaining
I think it's going to be the opposite of what.
I hope you're right.
I will say,
I like that wooded area, and I think that the trail extension through there will be a nice alternative to going down Belding Road. I do have concerns about the traffic, but it seems like that's not in anyone's hands in this room.
Right.
And to your point, I just worry that I see the turnover in HOA boards. I see the turnover in people that live in these communities, and before you know it, it's 20 years down the road or whatever. And maybe that's not worth mentioning because it's 20 years.
But and Todd had a thought on that.
Yeah, I was going to say that, that's why I made that comment to the people
Yeah.
at Eastbrook Homes, because we have had problems in our township, and actually in Somerset Meadows. It might be before you were president, I'm sure.
I'm
But-
not president.
Oh, I thought you were. Okay.
I'm
so,
on the board. I'm not,
He doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't want
So
to.
there has been problems in
no
that
one admits
development.
to that role.
So that was a planned urban development with set aside green space. 40% had to be set aside in green space, and so the adjacent green space to a lot of those homes, those homeowners want to put a fire pit back there, or they want to cut the trees down, and they want to open their yard up. And unfortunately, in the past, there wasn't much done about it. So Steve and I have been talking about it, and that's why I brought it up, is that there has to be more teeth into these agreements. I was talking to another attorney that says a lot of times when he writes these agreements, he puts $10,000 a tree in the agreement. So if you cut a tree down, it's a $10,000 fine. That typically stops people, and that might be what they have at Hunters Ridge, because it sounds like you're not having much problem, but in other HOAs and other PODs, we are having problems because there isn't any teeth in the agreement. So to that end, I think it is best for the township and for the HOA that we review those rules as a board and decide, do we want to try to enforce them? Do we want to put more teeth in them? That's what we have to decide. Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, it's down to you folks. So what do you have to say? Because what happens here is you say something and then you walk out. So, hey, you have to leave now because you just said something. I'm kidding you. That's what people do. All right. We're adjourned.
Okay.